Hi, Stuart. First of all, thank you very much for your time. Okay, I have the nutrient with me, um, but I'm a little bit confused when I saw the mail that Han sent yesterday. He says you have a new microliquid, says, uh, and with that I will be able to use caking because normally I use caking. But the material that I receive is nutrient balance. It's according what I'm reading right now says mix through casing and store 2 to 3 days, then apply to the growing surface. That's the way with this material. And what about the other microliquid? Is for mixed in watering over the casing after casing the room, something like that? I'm a little bit confused. Please advise me. Thanks. Okay, thanks, Stuart. It's clear. But I have the situation. The drum I have is 28 kilos, and according with your papers at your website, it's not enough for one of my rooms. My room is 210 square meters, so the drum is not enough for the whole room. If I so I will test in half of the room or something like that. I will estimate exactly the size that I need. But I'm concerned, if I use cacking in the other side and not cacking in the, or when you say, not, that's new, that you say I can mix the cacking. So I don't have a delay, will be at the same rhythm that normal, or will be a little bit late the part with the product. What can I expect related with that, with the time to start the cooling down?
Mauricio, yes, you are quite correct there. There's enough basically for half a house. What I would recommend that you do is that you mix the casing for the whole house, but half of the house, when you mix it in advance, you put the micro liquid into that. As long as you do that in advance, to say 2 days before casing, then there is no problem then to apply your cacking as normal on the day of casing. I'm assuming you're putting it in on the day of casing.
Okay, I got it. But one more thing, I use when I prepare the casing, we have a dry bubble here in the whole country. So I add a little bit formaldehyde, and concentration, a low concentration is less than 1%. And but I do when I prepare the casing. So when I mix with the caking, it's already done. There's no clue of formaldehyde. So it will affect the product or not, the formaldehyde. Yes, we use a plastic over the casing after the mix the mix with water, but we don't use plastic to cover the casing in the room.
Okay, we have very good experience with using plastic in the room. Normally, after we've made a couple of the waters in the first days, and then we put plastic on the casing and leave it for something like 2 to 3 days, and then take it off about 24 hours before airing. And this really activates the cacking and the mycelium that's growing in to feed off of the supplement. If you can just give me an idea roughly what you put on water, say on each day. So day zero, say, is day of casing, and then what you approximately put on day zero, day one, through to the point of airing. Just give me a bit of an idea, and I can give you some guidance on
I
this.
feel if I add the plastic in the cover, in the top of the casing, the caking will run too fast. Normally, I have caking for me is a tool to handle my schedule. I use caking in between 1 kilo per square meter to 300 grams per square meter. With 300 grams, I can start the cooling down at day number 7. With 1 kilo, I start the cooling down day number 4. Normally, in this part of the year, I'm using 300 grams, 350 grams to be exactly. And but with that, I have a 1 week since I add the casing to the cooling down start. Um, what do you expect the behavior in the half of the room with the nutrient against the normal side? But I repeat, I feel a little bit uncomfortable with the idea to use the plastic, because if I do that with my normal operation, I know the cagging will be activated too fast on the surface, and that's maybe the connection in the interface will be not ready, but the top of the casing will show, hey, it's time to start cooling down, but it's not really connected. I'm trying to find at your website what is exactly the product that I have here. Is the microfeeder, or is the organic gold? What is it?
Okay, I think for now we'll leave the plastic out of it. I think just for simplicity, it doesn't create the problem that you would expect, because what happens is the plastic stops the evaporation process, so you don't lose water. So what happens actually is the casing actually becomes wetter, so it controls the mycelium growth. Anyway, it's just something that we find that works very well. I think in the beginning, just do it without the plastic. And then when you get the other products as well, or you start to use this more, then you can experiment maybe with one little section of the of a shelf, say, just to get a feeling and an idea of what's actually happening. Your other message there, the product that you're actually using is called micronutrients or microliquid, yeah?
That's a great idea. I can right now make a little test with plastic in a corner. It's not a big deal. I will try that. Okay, I will read the paper in your website exactly what is the product, and then to see how to mix with what. But okay, what do you suggest? Because I used to about when I prepare the casing, I add about 1,000 liters of water. But what do you think? What do you suggest? To first apply water, and then in the last water to apply the product, mix it with water in that moment?
Yes, you can do that. Basically, you want to have a minimum ratio of water of at least 10 to 1. So, that being the case, half a house for you is going to be about 160, I think it is, that you'd be using. So, about, hold on, let me just. I need to go back and just calculate it out, but basically you would put your dosage into probably about 200 of the litres. So you could do all the rest of your normal watering up in the beginning, and then your final 200 litres can be the dilution of water and the micro liquid. Just need to make sure, obviously, that you're not washing it all away or you're losing it by leaching.
Hello, Stuart. We just applied the casing, mix it on Monday. Any advice for the rest of the crop? Thanks.
Oh, morning, Mauricio. Sorry for the delay in coming back to you. I had to go for a minor procedure yesterday. I got your message there. That's fine. As I mentioned to you before, if you can put some plastic on top of your casing, or at least in some of the area of the crop, for 2 to 3 days of the case run, that would be good. So in other words, put a little bit of water in on day of casing stroke, day after, whatever you normally do. And then maybe if you can take a small section of shelf and put some plastic over it and leave it like that for 3 days, and then pull it off at the end of the case for about 24 hours before you air up, and just to have a look at that, because it's a very powerful way of activating it. But either way, just do your normal case run, but just do that little experiment for me. Just be interested to see your feedback.
Okay, Stuart, thanks. But something else, I remember I did read something in your papers about temperature in compost or interface for a few days, something like that, 24, 25, no more than that, for the first days in the casing run.
Hi, Mauricio. Yes, that's correct. We want to get at least 2 to 3 days at those warm temperatures in the casing. That is exactly correct. But you may need to, depending on your growing regime, you might be able to do that naturally, or if necessary, you might need to do that with the addition or help of plastic film. That's why I mentioned it might be worthwhile trying a small area with some plastic film. But either way, I think if you measure the temperatures, and that temperature can actually be higher in the early stages of case run or later on, whenever, it doesn't matter when, it's just to have that time to activate it.
Hello, Stuart. The first picture is the casing with the nutrient, and the second is our witness without nothing, our normal casing with caking, just caking. Um, Finally, I decided to add all the water before the plastic. So we just We just give the last shot of water, and we cover part of the test with plastic, and also a little um, witness with plastic, just to see what happened. I know, and in fact, I'm afraid that that will run too fast for me, and will be ready for air much easier than the rest of the room. But we'll see.
Okay, Mauricio, I understand now that that's the growth before you put the plastic on. Okay, all is good.
I was just looking the room, and I can see a difference at this moment. And as you told me before, the mycelium with the liquid is a little bit more thicker, but thick in the right way, not when you have a low CO2, for instance. It's not that kind of thing. It's a very good shape, thick, compared with the normal of the room. That's more fluffy, and but a little bit more slow, the normal, compared with the one with the liquid.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's a good sign.
Hi, Stuart. You see, the first picture is the one with the plastic on top. The second is the one without the plastic but with the microliquid, and the third is the normal room. Um, in the picture, the second looks with more mycelium in the top, but in reality, the first one, the one with the plastic, has more. And it happened when I was afraid. It's too fast. It's too fast with the plastic. I, due to my schedule, I need to stop a little bit the mycelium, because it's not a good date for start the flash, the cooling down, because if I do that, I will have the harvest too soon. Um, it's Do you have an advice? Because normally I apply a little spray on the mycelium on the top, just to reduce the mycelium, the fluffy mycelium, and that way I can wait a couple more days. Do you think I will have some kind of problem if I do that in the one with the liquid?
Hi, Mauricio. Yes, the one that's the second one, which is the micro liquid without the plastic, definitely ahead, and it's very well grown. I don't know what you can really do with that now, to be honest with you, because I think that's already starting to knot together at this stage. If you put plastic on, I think it could affect the pinning or something. And if you try to spray it back with water, I think it will just make the pins physically, or make the mycelium knot together, and make the pinning a little more quick. Also, the area that's not treated, obviously is a little bit behind. Maybe that would gain now with a little bit of plastic on top, just to help it to catch up. That may be a better way to go.
Thanks for the advice. I mean, what I see now is the mycelium, without the plastic, run in a better way than with plastic. In my operation, I mean, because I never have the room in less than 20 degrees air temperature. So in fact, it's in between 20 and 22. So that's the reason why the liquid acts in a very good shape, because I never press the room with a cool temperature. I don't need that. Yesterday we have, for instance, the room was, the compost was running up and was close to 27, and we turn off the cooling for just 2 hours at 20 degrees, and immediately I lose 3.3 degrees, and that's enough, and then drop a little bit more, and it's very easy. So, but okay, what I have is I have most of the compost with the liquid is without plastic. So I will stop. I will try to stop the part with the plastic. It's the minimum with spray anyway, because if I wait for the rest of the room will be too white. So I will do that. But anyway, most of the test is without plastic. So it's I think it will be on time with the rest of the room.
Okay, that's very interesting. Looks like in your situation you don't need to have plastic, obviously. It is not normal for us here in Europe, but it's good to know. Now, what I was going to suggest, when you put that plastic on that little section there, you talked about knocking it back with water. I think it's probably already very wet already, so probably water's not the best thing to do. It may be better to actually scratch it, maybe with a stick and a nails or something, to ruffle it slightly, and that would help to maybe knock back the mycelium in that section, and that way you would slow it back a bit. Let me know what you think.
Well, I don't feel comfortable with the rafting, but anyway, I will try in a little section, and I will do what you say about the plastic, and we'll see. It's just a test. Thank you. Hi, Stuart. This is how it looks today after the water. You see, the first picture is the one. It's not really one day. It's about 16 hours, something like that. It's after the watering, and today looks the mycelium is coming back. And the second picture is it's a part of the test with the liquid, but I didn't watering. I didn't spray water on that part, but it's too much today. And the third is how it looks, the normal part of the room. I mean, without the liquid. So I think I will flash today in the afternoon. But anyway, the part with in the second picture, it's too much mycelium, so I will water it right now and wait a few hours to start cooling down.
Hi, Mauricio. Yes, I agree with you 100%. Amazing how strong that growth is. Okay, speak to you later.
Okay, Stuart, this is the situation. The first picture is the liquid, and the second is the normal room. And what I see in general, the one with the liquid is at least one day ahead, and the second one looks normal for us. It's our normal behavior, but clearly the liquid is moving faster. Um should wait for the result in pinning. will be this will be start picking, I think, on the weekend, maybe Sunday, I think. Yes, I see the same. It's faster, at least 1, maybe 2 days. And about the lot of pins, that is my concern, because could be too much, and at the moment I don't see a big difference in size from one to another, but could be a matter of time. And but anyway, looks, I like it right now. I like it. The problem, I think, the problem I have, because when I start the cooling down, I didn't start the cooling down the cooling down in the right moment for the liquid, and I didn't start the cooling down in the right moment for the normal of the room. So I start the cooling down in an average, not in the exactly proper moment. That could be a little bit. I'm concerned about that, but not a big deal. It's just a difference. But we'll see in the next days. I keep you updated. Hello, Stuart. Good morning. Okay, this is how the mushrooms with the liquids looks today. Are clearly are faster than the normal, and whiter. Yeah, whiter. The very clear. Looks heavier, because I pick a little test in a little tray. I put just 6 trays, the trays we use for sale, and to put it in the fridge to make a test with the film in packing, and to see after that, to see how long it takes, the whiter or the difference in both different mushrooms. But anyway, looks that little test. I just pick 6 trays. When you to take it, it is heavier. I will see the final numbers in few days more, but I like it at this moment. I like it. I will wait for the final numbers to see the advantage of your product. But today looks very good. Something else, people report me a different smell in the mushrooms with the liquid. It's that normal? What do you think? Okay, Stuart, I just come from the room, and clearly it's more mushroom, the smell. It's more mushroom, it's more wild mushrooms. It's pleasant, I like it. Also, I taste it. I feel it feels like it's less water inside. Okay, when you eat, it's when you eat the normal, you immediately the water release the mushroom. This now take longer, and probably it's related with the final weight. I like it. Here in this area, people used to eat a lot of wild mushrooms. It's morel. There's another, we call it here the wen. It's in the oak trees. And but many, there's another, call it jungle, many wild mushrooms. So the people in the room, they say, hey, it smells more like wild mushrooms.
That's interesting, Mauricio. Not everybody actually sees that, but yeah, that mushroom smell is actually related to these carboxylic acids in the product. They actually help to encourage that mushroom aroma. And also the fact that you should be getting a higher dry matter content in the mushroom, and you seem to be observing that as well, and that will actually concentrate the taste as well. But yes, very interesting.